The era of the human news anchor just ended. I want you to look closely at the screen right now. Using Synthesia's latest expressive avatars, I've built a 24/7 global news channel that never sleeps, never stumbles, and delivers breaking headlines with terrifyingly realistic emotional intelligence. You honestly won't believe these anchors aren't real people until you see the API operating behind the curtain. Welcome back to AMAAI Tech. Most creators trying to break into the faceless news niche are failing entirely. Why? Because they are settling for robotic, static automation that completely kills their channel's credibility. Viewers can spot a cheap text-to-speech avatar from a mile away, and they will click off immediately. Today, I am going to show you how to bridge that massive gap. I'm going to teach you how to program dynamic facial micro-expressions and contextual gestures into a perpetual live stream. You are going to learn how to deploy synthetic hosts that command the exact same authority, trust, and gravity as veteran broadcast journalists. Ask yourself, what if you could run a global news network from your bedroom without ever hiring a single host, building a physical set, or buying a teleprompter? By leveraging the high-fidelity expressive avatars inside Synthesia, we've unlocked the absolute secret to 24/7 broadcasting that maintains human-like nuance around the clock. This is not just a tutorial. This is the blueprint for the next generation of AI-driven media empires. If you are ready to disrupt the traditional news cycle, pay close attention. To understand the magnitude of what we are building, we must contrast the old era of automation with the new standard. Just a short time ago, automated broadcasting meant taking an RSS feed, running it through a basic text-to-speech engine, and slapping it over a static image or a looping video. It was completely devoid of life. It felt cold, robotic, and untrustworthy. But the reality of content creation has shifted violently. Today, high-authority news requires emotional intelligence. When a human anchor reports on a natural disaster, their eyes soften, their tone drops, and their face reflects empathy. When they report on a surging stock market, their posture straightens and their expression brightens. These are micro-expressions. They are the subconscious signals that build trust between a broadcaster and an audience. This is exactly why we are using Synthesia's expressive avatars. Synthesia has trained its models not just to move their lips to audio, but to understand the semantic meaning behind the text. This technology completely bridges the trust gap between automated raw data feeds and human-led journalism. When you use Synthesia, you are not just rendering a video, you are generating a performance. The avatar breathes, blinks naturally, and shifts its weight. It commands the screen. By the end of this video, you will understand how to wield this technology to create a synthetic newsroom that rivals CNN, BBC, or Bloomberg in visual authority. So, how do we build the machine? Let's dive into the architecture of a perpetual news loop. This is where we turn a software tool into a fully autonomous network. The foundation of our 24/7 channel relies on seamless back-end integration. We start by connecting live RSS global news feeds, from tech blogs, financial markets, or world news organizations, directly to the Synthesia API. Through middleware like make.com or an automated Python script, we establish a pipeline. The moment a breaking news article is published on our source feed, our system automatically strips the text, rewrites it into a broadcast-friendly script using a language model, and fires it directly into Synthesia for instant generation. But here is where our system becomes truly revolutionary: the gravity engine. We don't just send text, we send sentiment. Before the script hits Synthesia, our AI analyzes the emotional tone of the headline. If the news is tragic or serious, the gravity engine instructs the Synthesia API to select a somber avatar wearing a dark suit, using a lower-pitched, slower voice. If the news is a massive breakthrough in technology or an upbeat entertainment story, it automatically selects an energetic avatar with a brighter background and an enthusiastic delivery. Once Synthesia renders the clip, which takes mere seconds, it is pushed into a cloud-based streaming software, like OBS Studio running on a virtual private server, VPS. This creates a playlist that loops and updates dynamically. This is how you maintain a 24/7 uptime. Your channel is live, broadcasting to the world, pulling new headlines, and rendering new anchors continuously, requiring absolutely zero manual oversight. You literally build the machine once, and it broadcasts forever. Now, let's get into the core of what makes this workflow so incredibly persuasive: mastering the nuances of the expressive avatars. The difference between a good AI channel and a viral, high-revenue AI channel is entirely in the details. Inside Synthesia, you have the power to program contextual gestures. You are acting as the virtual director. When you are editing your automated scripts, you can insert specific markdown tags or API commands that tell the avatar how to physically react. You can program an empathetic head tilt right before delivering a sensitive story. You can trigger an assertive outward hand movement when the anchor emphasizes a breaking high-stakes update. These physical movements break the robotic stillness and trick the human brain into recognizing the avatar as a living, breathing authority figure. Furthermore, we must address vocal pacing. The latest updates in Synthesia's voice models allow for absolute control over delivery. An amateur simply pastes a block of text. A professional programs pauses. By inserting strategic half-second or full-second pauses into the script, you allow the AI anchor to stop for dramatic effect during high-stakes reporting. You let the gravity of the headline sink in before moving to the next sentence. When you compare the visual fidelity of these veteran journalist presets inside Synthesia against standard, cheaper AI models, the difference in audience retention is staggering. Viewers will scroll past a generic, stiff avatar in seconds. But an expressive avatar, complete with dramatic pauses, appropriate hand gestures, and subtle micro-expressions, commands attention. It holds the viewer's gaze, which is exactly what the YouTube algorithm demands. An anchor is only as good as the newsroom around them. To complete the illusion of a massive global network, we must integrate live data and dynamic visual assets. The broadcast cannot just be a person sitting against a blank wall. We achieve this by configuring an automated overlay system within our cloud broadcasting software. While the Synthesia avatar delivers the news in the center of the screen, we sync real-time visual data around them. We feed live stock tickers, cryptocurrency prices, and breaking news banners directly into the lower third of the screen. If the anchor is discussing a global storm, our system automatically pulls dynamic weather maps and projects them on a virtual screen behind the avatar. All of this is happening in real time, perfectly synced with the anchor's speech. Additionally, we establish an automated workflow for B-roll generation. While the avatar is speaking, the system occasionally cuts to AI-generated footage, perhaps an aerial view of a city or a futuristic tech lab that matches the context of the story. This B-roll, along with the channel's thumbnail, refreshes automatically every single hour to ensure the visual feed remains modern and hyper-relevant. Never underestimate the psychological power of the live badge on YouTube. By broadcasting this automated loop 24/7, you foster a massive sense of community urgency. Viewers feel like they are tuning into something happening right now, in the moment. The live chat becomes a hub for discussion, driving up engagement metrics and pushing your stream further out into the algorithm's recommendations. Let's talk about the ultimate reason we are building this: the business logic and the scaling strategy. Analyze the economics for a moment. A traditional news network spends millions of dollars annually on anchor salaries, studio space, camera crews, lighting setups, and makeup artists. Your overhead costs? A virtual server, an API integration, and a Synthesia subscription. The profit margins are practically unheard of. Because you are broadcasting 24/7, you are accumulating thousands of hours of watch time incredibly fast, unlocking massive potential for YouTube ad revenue, super chats, and direct brand sponsorships. You are operating a media conglomerate with the overhead of a single creator. However, with this immense power comes a strict ethical framework. At AMAAI Tech, we advocate for long-term channel authority. If you want your synthetic newsroom to last, you must prioritize transparency. We highly recommend including subtle transparency labels in your broadcast, a small watermark or a disclaimer in the description stating that the anchors are AI-generated. Furthermore, your data feeds must run through rigorous automated fact-checking protocols before the script is generated. Credibility is your most valuable asset. If you broadcast fake news, your channel will be terminated. Build a system that relies on verified high-trust RSS feeds. Once your core infrastructure is stable, the scaling potential is terrifying. Because Synthesia supports multiple languages natively, you possess the roadmap for launching global sister channels instantly. The exact same RSS feed that triggers your English broadcast can be translated via AI to trigger a Spanish, French, or Japanese broadcast simultaneously. You can deploy a fleet of diverse, localized avatars to dominate global markets, all running from the exact same back-end logic. The barriers to entry in the media industry have been completely obliterated. You no longer need a Hollywood budget or a degree in journalism to build a massive, authoritative broadcasting network. You just need the right AI tools and the vision to execute. If you are ready to stop watching the AI revolution from the sidelines and start building your own 24/7 media empire, you need to get access to Synthesia right now. I have secured a special link for the AMAAI Tech community. Click the link at the very top of the description below and pinned in the top comment to start creating with Synthesia today. The moment you generate your first expressive avatar and see it deliver a script with perfect human nuance, your entire perspective on content creation will change. If this breakdown opened your eyes to the true potential of AI automation, hit that like button and absolutely smash the subscribe button for AMAAI Tech. We are deconstructing the most advanced, high-revenue AI workflows on the internet every single week. Drop a comment below. What specific niche of news, finance, tech, sports, or global events are you going to broadcast on your 24/7 channel? Let's get to work, and I will see you in the next masterclass.